Hind all. My name is Babita. I am assistant professor in MCA department at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So today we are going to start the new lecture in the series of IoT in Internet of Things, and this is my third lecture in this series. And basically this lecture is more beneficial for the MCA students who are pursuing MCA from AKTU University. So today's topic is a MAC protocol survey. Basically, this is the approach which is used in a computer network and also in a IoT, because as you know, IoT is nothing but it is the Internet of Things. So basically, we are going with all the concepts which is used in the Internet and along with the IoT. Right, so this is not the new topic, or you can say this is not the new concept for you. You also studied this topic in the computer networks, as we discussed in the last lecture series of the computer network. You can go with this lecture series also, right? So today we are going with the detailed of this topic. Let's get start. So the main objective of this lecture, on the completion of this lecture, the learner definitely learn about how IoT devices communicated with each other. Next, we will talk about the MAC protocol, or we can say some kinds of MAC protocols, that is known as the survey of the MAC protocol. Next, we will talk about the types of MAC protocol, right? And after that, I will discuss some use cases of each protocol which is used in a IoT for this purpose. And next, we will talk about some advantage and disadvantage. And last one, we will discuss little bit about the comparison of each protocol with each other. So this is the all about today's lecture. So let's get start with the concept wireless medium access issues. So basically, why I included this slide, because firstly, going with the MAC protocols, we definitely understood what is the MAC. That means medium access. So basically, when we go with the internet, or we can say we are talking about the IoT. In the last session, I definitely discussed with you the sensors. Sensor is nothing but these are the IoT devices. So basically, the question is that, I'm asking you, do you think about the how sensors and how IoT devices communicate with each other without human intervention? So this is my question. If you answer this question, you can comment on this video. So basically, when we have the question ki how IoT devices, how these sensors communicate with each other. So basically, the answer is maybe you are wired or wireless. So if I'm talking about the wired, this is the type of communication in which the sender and receiver are connecting with each other by a link, a dedicated link. If I'm talking about the wireless, so basically there is no dedicated link between the source and destination. They are communicate with each other wirelessly, without any dedicated wired and without any connection. They are connecting to each other. So answer is that they are connecting by using the internet. So internet, in which we have some kind of protocols which guide the devices to communicate with each other and to synchronized with each other. So basically, first of all, we come to know about the medium access. So basically, medium access is nothing but it is a medium. It is a path where we more than one devices use for this particular medium and for this particular means path for sharing the data and between the sender and receiver. So basically, medium access, that means when the more than one devices use a same medium of data transfer simultaneously, we can say at the same time. So there is the possibility to come some issues and to come some conflicts when more than one devices attempt the same times for the data transfer. So basically, there are some issues. Then we will talk about these kind of issues we will face in the shared medium, or we can say when we communicate with each other wirelessly. So here the first point is the limited bandwidth. As we know, wirelessly is totally depends on the network, and network is nothing but it is the some kind of frequencies, and frequencies is considered as the bandwidth, total bandwidth of the network. This is the capability, yeah, we can say this is the amount of frequencies available for that time for your data transfer, right? So IoT devices often have a limited processing and communication capabilities, leading to low data rates. Agar if we have the low we have a low processing speed, or we have a low frequency capabilities during the transfer, definitely we are facing some problems due to the data. It may be data may be lost at that time, and data can be delayed at that time. So this is the issues when we are accessing the shared medium. Next, we will talk about the energy consumption. So basically, as you know, in a IoT environments, we have a lots of devices, we have a lots of sensors to do a specific task, and these sensors and these devices get powered from a battery, and these batteries have a limited energy resources. So this is also an issue during the medium access, right? And next we will talk about the security. If we are sending, some devices are engaged in a sending and receiving data during that time, because the network is wirelessly and the medium is a wireless. So basically there is the problem of some vulnerable to security breaches. That definitely this is the open environment, and this open environment may be track, may be accessed by some authorized person. This is also the security concern about the wireless medium access. Next, we will talk about the scalability, and scalability is nothing but it is the opportunity to extend our network, to extend our environment capabilities, right? So basically, if with the increasing number of IoT devices being deployed, there is a need for a wireless medium access scheme that can be scaled to accommodate the increasing demand of connectivity. So these are some kind of issues which are faced during the medium access, right? Next, we will talk about the MAC protocol. So basically, as you come to know, as you recalling your concept, MAC is the sub part of the data link layer. If I go with the some previous detail, as we know, we have a OSI model, and this OSI model is nothing but it is the combination of 7 layer, and the transfer data information is transferred from bottom 3 layers, and it will start from the network layer and to the physical layer, right? So basically, then at the network layer, we will talk about the IP protocol. At the data link layer, we have two parts. This is the MAC and the LLC. So basically, MAC is a medium access control or media access control. We can say also media access control that enforce a methodology to allow multiple devices access to a shared medium. So basically, before that, the communication between computing devices had been point to point, that is the two devices were connected by a dedicated link, as previously I told you. In a computer networking, medium access control is a set of rules that governs devices on a shared communication network access the medium for transferring data. So after that, if I'm talking about the responsibility of the MAC protocol, it is a responsible for coordinating access to the physical layer of the network layer, ensuring multiple devices can communicate with each other without any intervention, or you can say without human intervention. MAC protocol defines how devices request permission to transmit the data. So basically, this is the protocol, and protocol is nothing but it is the set of rules that governs that observe the communication between the source and destination, and this provide the policies how sender and how receiver communicate with each other other synchronously. So basically, efficient MAC protocol helps reduce energy consumptions, minimize collisions, and ensure seamless data transmission or seamless data transfer in the communication. So basically here we have some important facts about the MAC protocol, that is how and when devices transmit the data, and also MAC helps in collision avoidance and resolutions, and also helps in energy efficiency, latency, and scalability. So these are some key approaches, or these are some key features. That's why we are going with the MAC protocols in IoT environments, right? So play a key role in a wireless sensor network. If I'm talking about the main beneficiality of the MAC protocol, this is the widely used in the wireless sensor network, and you are also preferred for the low powered IoT devices. Next we will talk about the MAC protocol categories. Here we have some kinds of MAC protocol, medium access protocol. So basically these are categories. If I'm talking about the computer network, these are divided into the some kinds like random access, controlled access, like reservation based, and controlled, I think I skipped out, but basically in a IoT we have a three broadly categorized. First one is a contention based protocol without reservation or without a scheduling, and second one is a contention based protocol with a reservation approach, and last one is a contention based protocol with a scheduling mechanism. It is the summarized form of the MAC protocol categories. So basically if I'm talking about the contention based, contention here, the contention based we will explore in the next slide. Yeah, these are the types. If I am talking about the contention based protocols, here also called as the random access protocol, or you can say handshaking protocols. If I am talking about the random access, as you study in the computer network, random access, we have a Aloha and CSMA. As you know, Aloha is a protocol that is behavior, that is the functionality of the Aloha is a randomly implemented. We got the chance to transfer the data. I attempt on the medium. I don't care about who are transferring that time or not, but basically if I get the chance to transfer the data, I can directly transfer it. So basically we will explore in the next slide. If I am talking about the contention based protocols, yeah, you can say random access protocols. Here contention means competition based. Competition, as we know, we have a lots of devices that are prepared here, that are ready for transferring the data. So as they get chance, they are attempts to on the shared medium to transfer the data. So these protocols, multiple devices to compete for the same channel without prior coordination. There is a no superior, no means you can say inferior, and they have the equal opportunity to attempt on the shared medium to transfer the data. For example, Aloha, CSMA and CSMA CA. So basically if I am talking about the Aloha, so Aloha is one of the earliest contention based MAC protocol developed for satellite communication, and it is a protocol with a protocol that attempts data transfer without checking if channel is free or not. There are two types of Aloha: pure Aloha or slotted Aloha. So basically in a IoT environment, how pure Aloha and slotted Aloha work efficiently. Devices transmit whenever they have a data and leading a high probability of collision. Why? If I'm taking an example, this is the bandwidth, you can say this is the frequency which is available for you to facilitate your data transfer, and here we have some channels, and here we have some devices, right? And these devices attempt at the medium for data transferring at the same time. Just suppose this this device attempts the data transfer and this device. So basically there is the possibility to collision of these devices datas, right? So this is the higher chance to get the collision when we attempt, when we go with the Aloha protocols. If I am talking about the slotted Aloha, it is the just some kind of overcome in the pure Aloha as compared in the pure Aloha, because there is the time is divided into a fixed slot and device can only attempts data transfer at the beginning of the slot, reducing collision. What is the benefit of dividing time in a slots? We can overcome the problem of the collision. For example, rapid RFID technology, we can say RFID tags communicate in inventory management system where readers and tags synchronized with each other, or we can say in a predefined slots. So this is the importance of the slotted Aloha. Next, we will talk about the carrier sense multiple access. So this is also a protocols which is used at the MAC medium access control, and it improves the some conditions, we can say some kind of problems which is occur in Aloha, which is a collision between the devices and require device to listen the channel before transmitting data. As its name suggests the meaning, carrier sense multiple access. That means before transmitting data on the shared medium, the device definitely sense it is available or not. After sensing and after confirming if a medium is available for, then can attempts the data transfer, right? This is the approach of CSMA. So CSMA, if a device, a sensor device use this protocol, definitely sense the channel before transmitting. If channel is busy, it wait for some time. This time may be a random time and this time may be a some probability time, right? A smart city light, for example, if I am talking about the use cases of the CSMA, it is a smart city light. So basically on these systems, in these systems using the CSMA, they are as a allow lamp post to communicate a status update, and after ensuring no two lamps transmit simultaneously, right? And if I'm talking about the CSMA with collision detection used in a wired Ethernet network, it detect collision and retransmit data accordingly. If requirements, then definitely retransmit. If no requirements, it go with next approach, right? If I'm taking the example of this particular office LAN network where multiple customers shared a wired Ethernet connections. So this is also the use case. And next we will talk about the CSMA with collision avoidance. That means in which we are trying to avoid the collisions. The first thing is we are avoiding the collisions. If in case if we get the collision, then we apply some approaches to reduce it. Used in a wireless network, and it avoid collision by requiring a device to wait for before transmission and use acknowledgement signal to the receiver, sender, right? If I'm talking about the use cases, so basically in the Wi-Fi based home automation system where multiple smart devices communicate without interfering with each other. So this is the use case of the CSMA. Next, we will talk about the contention based protocol, but condition is the reserved mechanism. In the previous, we have a no approach here, we have a no options for reservation. We are trying to randomly. So basically in this, we have some kind of approaches here, we can say some kind of protocols in which we will talk about the reservation Aloha. In this, the device reserve slots after an initial successful transmission. So basically, if I'm talking about a remote weather stations periodically transmit climate data where successful transmission guarantee a reserved time slot. If I am talking about the RTS and CTS in a CSMA, where device request permission before transmitting to avoid collision. If I am taking the example for expressing the actual explanation of this protocol, the drone communication in a airline surveillance. So these are the use case. Next, we will talk about the contention-free MAC protocols. So here we have some kind of types as previously shown in our slides. So basically, TDMA, contention free, that means there is a no competition between the devices. Devices have a specific time slot and devices have a specific opportunity to transmit to attempt the transfer on the shared medium. So there is a no competition. Between the devices, right? So basically, contention-free MAC protocol allocate communication resources in a structured manner, or you can say in a predefined manner. There is no confliction. There is a no means blaming to each other and interfering to each other. These protocols are ideal for a network with a predictable traffic or strict timing requirements. So basically, here we will talk about the some kind like a TDMA, FDMA, CDMA, and schedule polling mechanism. If I am talking about the TDMA, that means time division multiple access. Here, just suppose this is the medium, and this particular medium is divided in a time slots, right? So basically, this particular slot, this particular slot, and this particular slot. So these slots are given to a particular device, and these device can transfer the data only this particular time slot. So this is the approach, right? If I am talking about the use case of this particular protocol in a smart grid communication system where energy, we can say in an energy meter transmit data in their assigned time slot without interference with each other. If I am talking about the smart meter system, so basically every in our life, every one lives, you also see in the smart meters in which each meters have a specific time slot, and in between this time slot can transmit the data. So if I'm talking about the FDMA, that is the frequency division multiple access. So basically this particular protocol also useful in IoT environments. If I'm talking about the use case of the FDMA is a cellular network where the FDMA allocate the different kinds of frequency channel without to the users without interference, without disturbing with each other. Next, we will talk about the code division multiple access. So here the code division multiple access device is to transmit on the same frequency by dividing by using unique code to differentiate signals. The best example to express all kinds of protocols, that is the radio FM. So basically in a radio FM is a complete scenario where we have some kind of networks informations, and these radio FM is divided in a multiple channels, that is the FDMA, and in these channels we have a different kinds of program, and each program have a different have a specific time slot on which it is going on, right? So this is the TDMA. And code division, that is the information this is transferred on a specific time slot, on a specific code word, right? And if I'm talking about the GPS system, use the CDMA to allow multiple satellites to communicate simultaneously with the receiver. So basically these are the contention-free MAC protocols. If I'm talking about the scheduled polling mechanism, polling is approach. Here we have some kind of information which is given by the users on the basis of some conditions, right? Polling mechanism in a contention contention free protocol that ensure each device is given to turn to transmit or eliminating collisions, right? And if I'm talking about the use case of these protocol, the industry IoT systems where polling to communicate machines data in a structured manner. Next, we will talk about the last MAC protocol, that is the hybrid. As its name suggests, its meaning hybrid is the combination of some other kinds of protocols. So here we have previously two types of protocol, contention based and contention free. So this is the combination of contention based and controlled access MAC protocols where device content for access to a medium during contention period. That means here the devices get access during the contention period but assigned a specific slots during the controlled period. So both kind of scenarios and both kind of approaches used in these kind of protocols, and this is the best thing of the IoT network because the most of the algorithms most of the systems and devices use these kind of protocols. So this allow for efficient use of medium while minimizing collision. Overall, the MAC protocol play a crucial role in managing communication between the devices in shared network, and selecting the appropriate protocols depends on the specific requirement of the application. So these protocol balance the flexibility with efficiency and making them for suitable for the network with the varying traffic slots, or you can say with the varying traffic loads. Next, we will talk about the use cases of a MAC protocol. So where the MAC protocol is most widely used. Just we take some examples. We have a lots of use cases where the MAC protocol is used, but in this lecture series, I am just exploring some kind of application areas. So basically, if I'm talking about the smart home and smarter cities, so where we use the CSMA CA, we can say Wi-Fi or Zigbee for smart appliances. In our home, we have some kind of we have a different kind of smart appliances just for your wearable devices, your smart watch, your AC and your fan, your lights. So basically, these kind of appliances use a Wi-Fi or Zigbee protocols. And TDMA for street light control. In a smart city, street light equipped with the IoT sensors need an efficient communication mechanism, because the all time the street light is not on, because if there is the requirement to get on, then definitely according status and according updates it working on the particular scenario. So TDMA schedule time slots for each street light to send and receive data, avoiding interference, and this ensure the synchronized operation, reducing redundant communication and conserving energy. Basically, this is the main thing, and this is the main purpose or motive of the IoT device, to conserve the energy, because we have a lots of energy reduce in a transferring when the sender and receiver are engaging in the transferring. If sender sending data, that also lose some frequency and lose some bandwidths in receiving the data. So basically, this is the main perspective using the these kind of protocols to conserve the energy. Enable adapting dimming based on a real-time traffic condition, improving energy efficiency. If I'm talking about some kind of block-based MAC protocols for securing data sharing, right? If I'm talking about industrial IoT, IIoT जिसको हम also called it, and TDMA for real-time process automation. As we know, TDMA, what is the functionality of TDMA, in which we are dividing the time, total time in the small kinds of time slots, and each devices use these time slots for a specific, for a data transfer. If I'm talking about the FDMA for factory-wide sensor networks. If I am using AI optimized MAC protocols for predictive maintenance. Next, we have use cases of healthcare IoT. So in a healthcare, CDMA for patient monitoring system, because here we have some sensing ability, and after sensing it will require take some action, then definitely accordingly perform it. An energy harvesting MAC protocol for long term health tracking. So these are the some use cases of MAC protocol which we'll explore in. After at last we are talking about some comparison between the all kinds of protocols which is exploring in this topic. So basically, if I'm talking about the collision handling, so in Aloha collision handling, we have a requirement of on a high basis, because there is the chances of collision, that is the high chances of collision, because every device randomly attempts the shared medium for data transferring. So there is the possibility for collide the data. And if I'm talking about the energy efficiency, so basically if there are some collision occur, and these collision also remove by using some approaches, and that means we are wasting our maximum frequency or bandwidths in removing that kind of collision. So energy efficiency is not achieved in a Aloha. If I'm talking about the scalability, that means as we increase the devices on the shared medium, then definitely we are inviting the collision between the all devices. So this is also not achieved in the Aloha. Synchronization required, there is no synchronization required, because every device attempts randomly, and every device don't care about the other data, devices transfers, right? Next we talking about in terms of CSMA. So basically, if I'm talking about the collision handling approach in a CSMA, that means we are calling as a medium, because just trying to overcome the problem which are faced on a Aloha. And if I'm talking about energy efficiency, so basically we will achieve average level of energy efficiency, because we have a equal opportunity, and we have a equal ratio of collision removal and collision occurrence. So scalability also medium, and synchronization is not required in a CSMA. If I am talking about in the context of CSMA CA, so basically collision handling is low, and energy efficiency is medium, and scalability. I hope you are understanding in what term I explaining all these protocols. So basically the main facts is that by using these protocols, we are working on a collision handling, we are trying for achieving the energy efficiency, and we are trying to increase the availability and increase the capability of the network. That's why we are scale up as we required. And the synchronization, that means we are trying to synchronize all devices with each other to make the communication effective, and to achieve the seamless communication between all devices. So basically, by giving this table, you can summarize all kinds of protocols in term of collision handling, in term of energy efficiency, in term of scalability, and in term of synchronization. So basically, this is all about today's lecture, and thank you so much.